Hey, Team 3DMJers. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all of the kind comments, questions, thumbs up, likes, etc. I got a prep vlog for you this week. But before I get into the training and the training clips, um, words of wisdom from Coach Brad. As I indicated, this prep, this competition that I'm going to be doing in May, it's not about setting PRs. It's not about winning gold, placing on the podium, etc. It's basically let's have a good, flawless prep um, and show up at my best, strong and healthy, to compete in May. And needless to say, I almost screwed that up. Um, we've all been there, right? We've kind of let ego get in the way, and I am no exception. Um, Earlier this week, slept in because of the time change. Didn't get in the morning when I usually get in my training, get into the gym and get my training done. So I had to go in the evening. The gym was pretty packed. It was pretty busy. There's some young kids in there, some high school kids, and Coach Brad was showing off. Which I mean, admit it. All of you who have lifted seriously and are reasonably strong, we've all done it, right? Look over at the guy next to us. Look over to the other side. Put another plate on the bar, right? Try to lift a little bit more than they are over there, right? Um, and so yeah, I was showing off. I did not stick to my program. Go over it more when I go over the spreadsheet, but basically what I should have been doing was probably a single at 225, 230 pounds, and then my back down sets, and I didn't. I worked up to 245 or maybe even 265. My back downs were too heavy, and just kind of made my infraspinatus strain that I've had that has been behaving pretty darn good because Brad's been sticking to his program and has been being pretty smart. I made it sore, pissed it off, basically. Now I dodged a bullet because basically the next day I was not doing bench, I was doing deadlift, and I took a day off. And then the day I'm going to show you, day 5, the hardest day of the week, it was good. There was no issues at all. In fact, really the training was stellar. So yeah, and it was ironic because as I mentioned in the opening, every morning, got to get up, got to get my mind, got to get my heart right, spend my holy hour. Liturgy of the day says, Jesus does not accept human praise. And that stuck with me. Brad doesn't need to show off. Why was Brad showing off in the first place? Brad has done plenty. He just needs to get his iron fix, right? And so I was kind of praying, I hope that there's nobody in the gym because then I got no reason to show off because Brad's weak and Brad will probably let his ego get in the way. And sure enough, middle of the day, it was probably 11 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe even noon. There was not a soul in the gym. So I get to put my music on, I get to dance around, be my goofy ass self, singing, and I stuck to the program and shoulder felt great. Awesome session. So, moral of the story, the rest of prep, stick to the program, Brad. So, let's get on to the program and on to the training. All right. All right, gang. So, first of all, before I get into the training that I just about screwed myself up on, you can kind of see I was doing great right here. Competition bench. Supposed to work up to a single RPE 6, 240s right there. And I did my back downs, that was an 8. Did my back downs to 202.5. And so I was doing good until I got in the gym and it was kind of busy, right? So if an RPE 6 is 240s, this is the session right here, where I kind of was showing off and kind of hurt myself, right? So, I mean, if 240 is RPE 6s, workout 3 is supposed to be an RPE 5. I got no business doing 245, right? Probably 225 was as much as I should have gone to. Put in 5.5 right there. Probably not a 5.5. I was probably gaming the spreadsheet a little bit there. Because when you put in anything higher, it makes your back down sets less, right? Well, I can't do 215 in front of all these, high school kids and all these kids that are in there, right? So I gamed it, put 5.5, did 3 sets of 5 at 225. It didn't feel terrible, but boy, it sure was sore the next day. And so workout 4, luckily, no bench press, just got deadlift. Deadlift session was pretty good, but my shoulder was sore this whole session right here. Took the day off, and now here's the session that I'm going to show you the training clips on here today. So start out with low bar squat. Again, this session is an RPE 7, worked up to 340. That's this lift here that I got for you guys. Trying to really make sure that my setup is the same every single time. Now, you guys have seen my back. It's crooked as can be. So I got to kind of set myself up a little bit to the right of the bar a little bit. Shake out the hips, big breath, brace, and then go ahead and proceed with my single, right? Really good single. Was really happy with this. I'm never sure though. I am never really sure what my RPE is. So I use a lot of 0.5s with my RPEs. So with this particular squat here, I knew I could triple it. I knew I could. I knew I could get 2 more repetitions. However, was I 100% sure that I could not get 3? No, I wasn't. So 7.5, an RPE 7.5, and an RPE 8, they're arguably the same thing. There's 2 reps in reserve for sure. RPE 8 is 2 reps in reserve for sure. RPE 7.5 is 2 reps in reserve for sure. It's just with the 7.5, you're not sure if there is a third one. So, like I said, I always called it, kind of a lot of 0.5s, called it a 7.5, did 3 sets of 5 here with 302. So, got those for you here. Now, here's kind of the important thing that I wanted to talk about as I'm showing you guys these a couple of these back offs here. So, the reps were pretty darn easy, right? I was able to rep them pretty good. But you're going to see here, I kind of yell at myself here. I kind of get a little bit disgusted because my 4th rep, I could feel it. It was not as smooth. It wasn't as strong. It wasn't as fast. And I actually felt my right heel come up a little bit. So I yelled at myself to clean it up, basically. And then I did it again on the second set. Exact same thing. So finished it. Didn't get video of it, but the 3rd set was a good one. Then on to the bench press, right? The bench press, kind of my nemesis. Luckily, like I said, at this point here, there's still nobody in the gym. Spreadsheet called for an RPE 7. Arguably, usually, RPE 7s for me are, roughly 250s. Okay. Somewhere between 240 and 265. Let's just put it that way. And I worked up to 245. It felt great. I actually smoked it. It flew pretty good. Here's 250. Again, I'm really trying to keep my setup the exact same way every single time. I plan on doing a self lift off in the meet. Here's 250, and it flew. It felt remarkably well. I felt very, very confident that I could probably have gotten that for 4 reps. So basically, it was 3 reps in reserve. So put in the spreadsheet. 250, put in RPE 7. Lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, spreadsheet calls for 225, 3 sets of 5. The exact same thing as the night that I gamed the spreadsheet to get 225, right? Well, luckily today, it felt really, really good. And all 3 sets felt good. The only reason that I got 4 repetitions on this set here is that my 4th rep, I felt one of the plates brushing the side of the cage. And it made me a little nervous, especially with my shoulder being a little bit sore from the night before. So I racked it at 4, called it good, and basically just kind of lived to play another day. So got all the way through the session, and shoulder was great. So like I said, I dodged a bullet on that one. So now all the hard work is done. This session's only going to get harder. And so now I've just got the assistance work, right? Now, this is ironically how I rehabbed my shoulder. I started out with assisted lateral raises. I would just put one hand, my injured arm, supported by my other arm, and then I would lift it up, and then slowly after that, I was able to do lateral raises with just the weight of my arm. Then eventually it was a 2.5 pound dumbbell for a few reps, morning and night. 2.5 pound dumbbell. When the 2.5 pound dumbbell didn't hurt anymore, moved to a 5 pound dumbbell. That one kind of hurt a little bit. Do a few reps. Pretty soon the 5 didn't hurt. Got rid of the 2.5. Morning and night doing 5 pound lateral raises. That kind of feels fine. I have to go to 7.5, and that hurts a little bit. So I kind of just do a few 7.5s morning and night. Back it down to 5s. Now I'm up to 25s. So here those are, right? 11 reps. I'm always doing some post-failure partials anymore. I like the idea of just going to failure and then just trying to eke out a few partials. So got 3 sets of those. And then lastly was everybody's favorite, the calf raises. I've been pushing my calves really hard. I've been doing post-failure partials on every single set. Slow on the eccentric, pause on the full eccentric. And I mean, if it shows my calves, great. I'm going to be fine with it. My calves look bigger. I'm going to be fine with it, but I'm really doing it more so for ankle mobility than anything. So those burn, got those done, out of the way, and the day was over. I made it, and I didn't have any issues with my shoulder. So, all right, that was that training day. That finishes up basically week 2 of the volume block. And training is only going to get a little bit tougher from this point forward. So one more week of volume, then we go into intensity, and you can see the RPEs go up. That's always fun stuff. Working up to heavy singles and then doing back downs. People don't really understand how much work that is. Body weight's going good. Probably going to do a physique update sometime in the not too distant future. But 171.2 is where we're at right now. Had this 170.8 weigh-in. As I'm recording this now today, it's the 16th. I had to punch a new hole in my belt, and didn't get body weight today. But even the new hole that I punched in my belt was too big. So I'm probably even lighter today and even a little bit leaner. As you can probably see, the cheekbones are starting to become more and more prominent.